What would you say is the most contagious thing in the world? Well, I want to suggest that it's not a virus, it's not a disease, it's life. And particularly that kind of life that we speak about when we use the word resurrection. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi, I'm John. I'm the founder and the facilitator of the Evo Faith Tribe, an online spiritual community rooted in evolutionary spirituality. If you want to ask questions and explore faith in different ways, in new ways, outside of the restrictions of formal religious structures, then maybe you'd like to join us. On this video channel, in the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about this word, resurrection. It's a word that feels very theological. It's kind of an academic idea that relates to some event from ancient times, which we really know very little about from a practical, scientific, or historical perspective. I mean, let's face it, nobody actually knows what happened in the tomb 2,000 years ago. No one knows for sure what the reality is behind this word resurrection. And maybe that's why we tend to take resurrection and push it into the past as something that happened in ancient times to this one person called Jesus long ago, this past miraculous event, or we push it into the future as part of our belief around life after death, as something that is linked with us going to heaven in some other place when we die. Of course, most of us don't even realize that believing that we will spend eternity in some spiritual heaven somewhere else contradicts our belief in resurrection. Because resurrection is all about a new immortal life in the physical world. But like I said, you're probably feeling already that this is all getting a bit theological, philosophical, and theoretical. It doesn't really have much to do with our lives right now. And so I want to suggest something different. I want to ask you to consider what it would mean to think of resurrection as a reality that we are living right now, even if we're not aware of it. What if resurrection is going on all the time? And what if connecting with the process of resurrection in our universe can lead you into a more vibrant, exciting, creative, and energized life right now? Do you remember when you were young and fearless? I remember in my teenage years, I used to love riding my bike down the street that we lived on. It had this downward slope. So if I started at the top end, I would get a lot of momentum as I drove down. And we had sand at the entrance to our driveway and a couple of trees that had sand underneath them. And I used to love hurtling down the road, turning the corners and sliding through the sand as I navigated all these corners. And then at the end of my ride, I would either dive off my bike into our pool while it was moving, or I would jump off the bike and grab onto a tree branch and pull myself up into the tree while my bike continued to hurtle off into the garden. It was wild, it was free, it was exciting and energizing. I felt so alive. Life is like that. It's wild, it's free, it's risky, it's creative, it's breathless, it's euphoric. And our world, our universe, has evolved in such extravagant ways, all the colors and variations and multitudes that fill our universe. They're just mind-boggling. I mean, I recently discovered that there are 1.4 billion insects per person living on the earth right now. 1.4 billion. I can't even get my head around that number. Life is explosive, it's contagious, and it's intensely creative. And this is what we're talking about when we talk about resurrection. See, death doesn't end life. It just changes it. It multiplies it. It expands it. More than any other thing in the universe, life spreads and grows and changes and creates and expands. But what does this mean for us? It means that when we claim to believe in resurrection, this is what we believe in: the capacity for life to expand and grow. It means that we have the capacity and the opportunity to get infected with life, to be part of this creative, vibrant, contagious reality, and to let life flow through us, constantly into us and out of us, to the world around us. In fact, if we are to live our most fulfilled, energized, and vibrant life, we need to become those who share life whenever, wherever, and in whatever way we can. Now, that may sound a bit grand. It's really not. The beauty of life is how simple it is. Simple things can expand and spread in amazing ways. A kind word, a smile, a halting attempt at learning something new, a creative act, an expression of love. All the things that really are the basic stuff of what we call spirituality. These things spread life in ways that we can never keep track of. Yes, there are things that can destroy life: fear, carelessness, excessive consumption, hoarding. Anytime we allow ourselves to become a block in the flow of life, we hurt the spread of life. But these things can never finally destroy life itself. They might hurt our life or the life of those around us, but not life with a capital L. And so the question for us now is this: how do we learn to trust life? How can we believe in resurrection, not just as an idea, but as an experience of the contagious life that fills our own lives? And what can we each do in our own small way to share life with those around us, to nurture the various expressions of contagious life in our own lives? What small acts of kindness, expressions of love, creative endeavors can you engage in? What helps you to feel connected to life? What helps you to be aware of the life around you and to nurture that life in other people, in other creatures, in the plants in your garden? What is one thing you can do right now to share life with someone or something else? When you do that, whatever it may be, you are participating in resurrection, in the spread of contagious life, and you're allowing life to grow and expand and energize the universe as it does. So I hope that resurrection will be more than just an idea for you, but something that you live and engage with and share in every possible way, every moment that you can. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. Click the subscribe button if you want to make sure you don't miss future videos, and hit that little notification button to make sure that you find out when new videos are posted. And thank you for listening.